Hello, and thank you so much for tuning into our February virtual snack class. My name is Barbara, and I'm the dietitian at the ShopRite of Emerson. So, since it's February, I thought it would be fun to have a Valentine's Day themed snack class. So we are going to be making Valentine's caprese toothpicks and a no-bake strawberry cheesecake in a cup. So let's get started on the caprese toothpicks. I'm going to go over everything that you're going to need for this recipe. You are going to need 5 toothpicks, 5 mozzarella pearls, 5 basil leaves, 5 grape tomatoes, half a tablespoon of olive oil, and a pinch of black pepper. So let's get started on the recipe. First things first, we are going to cut our cherry tomatoes, but we have to cut them in a very specific way, and I'll show you how. We are going to be cutting them on a diagonal like this. By the way, make sure that you're using a butter knife, just because real knives are really sharp and dangerous, and we don't want any accidents here. So, you are going to cut the cherry tomato at this angle. So it's just a diagonal. I'll cut this one and then I'll show you. Okay. So this is how the cherry tomato looks whole. And we just cut it like this. Can you see that? Yeah. It's a nice diagonal, but you're not cutting the tip. You're cutting off the side. And I'll show you why we have to cut this at this angle very specifically once we're done cutting all the cherry tomatoes that way. So go ahead and try cutting all your cherry tomatoes in that diagonal. Once again, I'm going to just show the camera. You can see here's it as a whole, so it's a nice diagonal shape. And do that with all of your cherry tomatoes and keep them together so you know which half goes with which other half. It might sound a little confusing at first, but it'll all make sense when I show you why that we're doing it that way. Okay. Just keep cutting until all the cherry tomatoes are cut on that diagonal line. So, now I have all of my tomatoes cut, and I'm going to show you why we had to cut it like that. So, here's how the tomato normally looks. This is it cut. What we're going to do is flip one side upside down and then attach the two halves together so it looks like a little heart. How cute is that? Perfect for Valentine's Day. Let me show you that again, just so you can make sure you get it right. So here's how it looks normally. We're going to take one half and flip it so it makes the heart. One more time. I want to make sure you guys get this right. Here's the tomato. We're going to flip it one side so both of the lumps are up and the tiny pointy ends are on facing down, and put those together to make a heart. Okay, I'm done showing you. We're gonna do all of the cherry tomatoes like that. Perfect. We have all of our tomato hearts. The next step is we are going to carefully take our toothpicks and we are going to skewer our heart like this, just so it stays together. And I'll show you once I get this one skewered. Once again, being very careful because toothpicks are pointy and pointy things can hurt. Okay. So now you can see how cute that is. I got my little cherry tomato heart on my toothpick. And you want to push it mostly to one side because there are some other things that are going to be going on this toothpick as well. See that? So just be very careful and do that to all of your cherry tomatoes. Okay, perfect. This recipe is gonna make 5 little toothpicks, but you can easily make more or less, especially if you want to give this to family. It's very easy, quick, healthy, and tasty. It's the perfect snack. Okay, one more. Just carefully skewer your cherry tomato heart together. Just like that. Perfect. So, the next step that we're gonna do, by the way, if I'm going a little too fast, please don't hesitate to pause the video to catch up. The next step is we are going to take our little mozzarella pearls and stick it on the skewer right after our cherry hearts. Once again, being very careful. So it's gonna look just like that. See? Perfect. So do that with all of your mozzarella pearls. Try not to squish the mozzarella too hard just because you might break it, so then it won't stay on the toothpick very well. Just gently skewer the mozzarella. And keep going until you're all done. Perfect. So now I have all of my toothpicks have their mozzarella pearl on them. The last step, or not last step, the last thing we're putting on the skewer is a basil leaf. What you're gonna do is take your basil leaf and fold it in half, just like that. And you're gonna stick it on the skewer, just like that. See how that looks? Perfect. And you're gonna put this on a plate just like how I have right here. So do that with all of your toothpicks. You're gonna take your basil leaf and fold it in half. And then stick it right on the skewer. And just keep going until you're done with all 5 basil leaves. Okay. Perfect. And the last one, right on the skewer. So cute. Okay, let me see if I can show the camera. Now I have all 5 of my caprese skewers here on this plate. The next step is we are going to take our ½ tablespoon of olive oil and drizzle a little bit on each skewer. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit on each one. See how this goes? Not perfect, just a little bit. Just like that. Great. And once the olive oil is on, the very last step before we can eat these is taking a pinch of pepper. So not a lot. See how much I have here? Just a pinch. And sprinkle a little bit onto each skewer. This is going to give it some great flavor. Perfect. Look how cute. We're all done. These are our Valentine's caprese skewers. So you can either pause the video now and start eating these, or you can move on to the next recipe with me. And this is going to be our no-bake strawberry cheesecakes in a cup. So the things that you're gonna need, you are going to need 1 graham cracker, 2 ounces of cream cheese. I like to use Neuchâtel cheese, which is basically a very fancy way of saying cream cheese, but 1/3 less fat. Tastes exactly the same, but less fat. You are going to need a 1/4 cup of vanilla Greek yogurt, a teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 tablespoon of honey, and about a 1/4 cup of strawberries, plus a little bit extra for the topping. So let's get started. Oh, and you're also going to need 1 serving glass. This is what we're going to be putting our cheesecake in a cup in. Okay, the very first step is to take your graham cracker and take a little Ziploc bag, or if your grown-up has a food processor, they can use that to grind this up, but I like doing it this way. I feel like it's more fun. So take your graham cracker and carefully seal it in your Ziploc bag. And the next thing that we're gonna do is crush it. Be very careful not to burst the bag, but just very carefully start crushing the graham cracker. If you're a little stressed, this is a great way to take out some stress. You can leave it as chunky as you want or as crumbly as you want. I like mine a little crumblier, so I'm gonna keep going. Okay. I'm just gonna show you what mine looks like so far. See how mine's really nice and crumbly? There's still some big chunks in there, but that's okay. If you want, you can keep going, keep crunching, or if you like a little bit bigger chunks, you can stop right here. The next step is to take these crumbs and we were gonna put it in the bottom of this cup. Okay, so just carefully pour your graham cracker crumbs into your serving cup. Great. Give it a little shake so it's nice and level. See how that makes it nice and level? This is going to be the crust for our cheesecake in a cup. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to take our 2 ounces of cream cheese. Make sure that you leave this out from the fridge for at least an hour before doing this recipe, so that way the cream cheese can get a little bit soft, and that way it's easier to mix. If it's straight out of the fridge, it's gonna be a little too hard, so I highly recommend taking it out of the fridge 1 hour before doing this. But you're gonna take your 2 ounces of cream cheese, and you are going to take your 1/4 cup of vanilla yogurt. This is about 1/2 cup, so I'm gonna use half of this. Great. You are going to take your 1 tablespoon of honey and add that right in. Perfect. And your 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, and add that in too. Perfect. And you are going to give this a good mix. You want it all nice and combined. If your cream cheese is nice and soft like mine is, this should mix no problem. You just want to keep mixing until there's no more cream cheese lumps. Great. I'm going to mix mine a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you what it looks like. Great. So you can see mine's nice and combined right now. If yours isn't done combining, go ahead and keep mixing it, but I'm going to move on to the next step. What you're going to do is you are going to take your strawberries, make sure they're nice and washed and clean, and we're going to take our butter knife again, and we're going to cut off the stems. Try not to cut off too much of the red part, just because the red part is the yummy part. You just want to take off the stem and the white. And do that with all of your strawberries. Perfect. Okay. Great. So now all of my strawberries have had their stems removed. And the next thing I'm going to do is start chopping these up really, really small. But once again, be very careful of your fingers. It doesn't matter exactly how you cut them. Just making them as small as possible will make this easier for the next step. I'll cut up all mine and then I'll show you what it looks like. Actually, I can show you like this. See, they're a little tiny, they're perfect, nice and small. And cut up all of your strawberries. This is a great recipe, especially for Valentine's Day coming up, because this is healthy, and Valentine's Day, strawberries are probably the most popular fruit, so this is perfect. This is going to make a very delicious and healthy dessert. Okay, just keep cutting until all your strawberries are nice and tiny. But take your time, no rush. You can always pause the video if you need to, if I'm going a little too fast. I don't want you to rush and then, hurt yourself or anything. Safety is first. So really take your time with this. Okay, almost done. Great. Okay, so now you can see all of my strawberries are nice and chopped up. The next thing that we're gonna do is take about 3/4 of this. We're saving a little bit on the side for topping. And we're gonna take 3/4 of this and put this in our little bowl right here. Great. So you see how I saved a good amount for the topping for later? So I got all of these in my bowl, and then you're going to take a fork and very carefully start mashing the strawberries into a nice mash. Might get a little messy, but that's okay. It's still gonna be delicious. Just give it a good mash. You might want to use a little bit of a bigger bowl than I did because my strawberries are coming right out, but that's okay. I can make it work. Give it a good mash. It doesn't have to be too perfect. Okay, let me show the camera. You can see how mine's kind of starting to form a little bit of a puree. Just keep going. Great. Okay, I think I'm just about done. You can see mine is still slightly chunky, but it's good enough. It's a nice puree. And what we're gonna do next is take our mashed strawberries and add it right to our yogurt cream cheese mixture. Just dump it all in there. You want all of that strawberry goodness. And give this a nice good mix. What's really nice about doing this is it's going to turn our cheesecake a nice light shade of pink. So it's going to be perfect for Valentine's Day. So pretty. You can see how my yogurt's slightly turning pink. I don't know if the camera is really picking it up. But trust me, my yogurt's turning a nice pink shade. And just keep mixing until it's all nice and combined. Okay. So once your yogurt cream cheese strawberry mixture is all nice and mixed, we are going to be going back to that serving cup. And we are going to carefully pour this mixture on top of the graham crackers. You want to pour this carefully, maybe use a spoon if you need to, like I'm about to. That way you don't disturb the crumbs and they stay on the bottom. So just carefully start spooning it in. Oh, this is looking so pretty and I'm so excited to eat this. This is a great dessert because since it has Greek yogurt, it has so much protein, there's a lot of dairy, and it's all delicious. Okay, just keep pouring. That fit perfectly in my cup. Okay, so now you can see I have my nice graham cracker layer, and then I have all of this cheesecake. And the very last step is to take those strawberry slices that we reserved and sprinkle that on top. Ooh, if you can't fit them all, that's okay. You can always just snack on them. I'm gonna get as many as I can on there because I love strawberries. They're a nice, delicious fruit packed full of antioxidants. Perfect. I think I'm just about done. Look at that, so pretty. And that is our strawberry no-bake cheesecake in a cup. You can either eat this now, it'll still a little bit soft, or you can pop this in the fridge for about 2 hours to get a firmer texture, more similar to actual cheesecake. But that's it. Those are our 2 Valentine's Day inspired recipes. I hope you enjoyed, and I really, really hope to see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.